As y'all know, I milked the Sparking Zero's trash videos. And yes, this is the Itachi is trash video part two. This is Itachi is trash part two. But this video is going to be talking about Itachi's power skill. And the first Itachi is trash video was basically me saying how Sasuke was my favorite character in Naruto and one of my favorites in Naruto. If he's not the number one favorite, but he was based on Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho. And as y'all know, Hiei was my favorite character in Yu Yu Hakusho. So Sasuke was my favorite character in Naruto. And became one of my favorites when I became a fan of Obito, Minato, Kakashi, etc. But that's besides the point. And basically, I was basically saying since I liked Sasuke as a character, that Itachi was one of my favorite Naruto characters and probably my favorite Naruto villain at one point, but he was evil Sasuke and he was more powerful Sasuke and he was a benchmark for Sasuke, right? And that gave him aura, but I wanted to see Sasuke get stronger. But when they tried to make him into a deep character, I lost all respect for Itachi. Pre-time skip Itachi. He was my nigga. I fucked with Itachi, but you know, part two Itachi, nah, bro. That dude needs to be 6 feet under with Uncle Ruckus. But that was the premise of my Itachi is trash part one video. Now the premise of the Itachi is trash part two video, which is this very video, is gonna be Itachi's power skill and how Itachi fans just suck him off and glaze him and wank him off, as the Brits such as Gordon Ramsay and Idris Elba would say. But they put who's winning, Pain or Itachi, and FYI, I'm gonna be doing Edo Pain slash Nagato versus Edo Itachi 2. And I'm gonna be doing Pain slash Nagato versus Itachi and Power Skins, which are both of their versions, but there's the Edo versions, then there's the live versions. And I'm gonna go down, and this dude literally has an image of Itachi's Susanoo impaling Nagato, right? And there's more Itachi fans, bro. Like for real, this dude has an AI drawing of Itachi, right? And what's crazy, this dude clearly speaks Arabic. What's crazy, I had a Middle Eastern dude who was an Itachi fan. That dude, actually, me and that dude turned out to be cool associates. We weren't friends, but like that dude's friends were like my ops in like high school and middle school. I actually got into a fight with an Arab dude who was best friends with the Arab dude who was an Itachi Glazer. But that's a story for another storytime video. Another dude, literally a fan animation of Itachi Susanoo. Itachi is the Batman of Naruto. He will beat Pain and seal him with the sword of Tosca. Okay, Itachi has contingency plans. That's basically what he's saying. He's one of the smartest Naruto characters. Yet in terms of strategy, like in terms of fighting, Itachi can't throw hands, but he can wield swords and stuff, and do high IQ plays. Now Itachi has hands, but like not the best. His fans, overrate him and say like, "Oh, he has hands." No, he does not, like that. And this dude, did this dude say MF right here? Pain not doing shit. LOL. He getting done like Nagato. First off, none of his past can touch the Yada mirror. Wait, Itachi has more hacks and shit sweet. I LOL. Okay, well I don't got Red MF. That's not my nickname on this Twitter account. So he's not talking about me. But this dude has data books, and as we know, you cannot power scale with data books, you know, because data books are overrated. Japan overrates things. Like Asians are very good at advertising. That's why they stay getting paid. Like the way they market these characters, But as the show's marketed at teenagers and young adults, they say the characters is stronger than they really is. Like that's a fact, right? And I was literally in the chat of this of a stream that this video is based on. Let me go to the video, but this video that was made by Sage of Thick Carrots. I was in the stream, a power scaling stream, that inspired him to make this video, and I was one of the commenters basically in the YouTuber Hidden Mark on this dude basically said that in this video, which this dude agreed with me, this video basically said that the data books are overrating things. And this dude obviously did not agree with the fact, in his chat that inspired this video, I thought Japan overhyped things, but, you know, other people do agree with me, just like FYI. But the data books are inaccurate. But he said Itachi, he's invincible. This is the manga panel of when Itachi using the Susanoo, Zetsu who's narrating the fight, and Sasuke who's narrating the fight, specifically what Itachi he's about to do in his head. This is either these speech bubbles, either Sasuke or Zetsu talking. Zetsu's a spy, so I'll just assume it's Zetsu because he's the spy in the Akatsuki. But basically he said Itachi's invincible. If Itachi is invincible, then why is he dead? Why is he dead, huh? And every time he uses the MS, the drawback of the MS is internal bleeding. Bro, literally, bro was leaking blood. Bro was leaking, no diddy. Right? So, obviously, the guidebooks or the data books, right? I use guide and data book interchangeably, right? Obviously, in Naruto, they're called data books, but I'm a Dragon Ball fan, and they call the Dragon Ball power scaling books guidebooks. But basically, the data books literally are they wank the characters off to get you to want to watch the show or play the games, as they're saying they're strong in the show in other media such as the games and manga. They're getting you to buy more products. And when he said Itachi was invincible, he meant that, right, the Yada mirror is a shield that can turn back any attack. Right? Can turn back any attack, right? That's what the Yada mirror can do. Except the problem is that it's an MS ability. You have to have two MSs at once. You have to have two MSs at once to use the ability. So what happened? Yes, Itachi was holding back on Sasuke. Yes, he could have beat Sasuke, or draw to with him instead of losing to him. Yes, he let himself lose. The fight was most likely going to be Itachi winning or a draw. But Itachi let Sasuke win. But after Itachi either drawed or beat Sasuke, Itachi would have died anyway because he was bleeding out of his eyes. So, yes, the mirror is invincible, but the mirror is also not invincible all of the time. It's only temporarily invincible because every time somebody uses a Susanoo, their eyes start bleeding after the fight. So, eventually, you're going to die or become very ill. So, no, it's not invincible. End of debate. These dudes are lying, saying the Yada mirror is invincible. Let me look at this, bro. Pain would mold this Itachi. There's no reason Obi told me that Pain's Renegon. I don't know what this dude's talking about. Bro, literally these cringe AI and screensaver edits are cringe. Yeah, okay. They got literal People are out here going band for band, like Central seeing little baby, bro. Itachi hands down, bro. I'm not finna make fun of nobody's sexuality, but let me see what gender person this person is, bro. They got a trans flag. Let me check this profile. Okay, bro. I really don't care about the political stuff. And people want to be whatever sexuality they want, but if you're a dude who chopped off his cock and stabbed himself in his crotch to get a hole there, you definitely know about some glazing. About some glazing. Of course, if you got these two flags and you look like this, aka a dude in a wig, you know about some glazing. But I'm not trying to get canceled 2026. Like more edits, bro. Like more edits, bro. Like okay, this chick is named Cassidy. Okay, this is probably some like Itachi's Asian. I'll just assume this is some Asian chick. So like yeah, she should be glazing Itachi. Like Itachi's demographic is like little Asian girls or whatever. I mean they both have ninja cancer. This dude does not understand how the Renegon just even works because you only start dying from the Renegon if you use the ghetto statue. But like this goes down like endlessly, bro. Now it's at like a portable spam section. Like it's just back and forth. This dude asked the Grok AI, and first of all, AI is literally based on what human beings say, bro. So if a human being says something wrong, or if a person who does not know how a power scale made the Grok AI, which most likely if they made the Grok AI, they're scientists. They pay attention to like math and space and stuff, so they don't even watch anime. But this stuff is like goes on endlessly. But to get back to the topic, this dude literally said we saw this fight. This is the main dude, bro. There's Naruto, B, and Itachi. Naruto, B, and Itachi. This is a 3v1. This is a 3v1. This is a 3v1. And there's another dude who got the same picture right here. This dude is ridiculous using guidebooks to justify his points because the guidebooks are not accurate anyway. Plus, we don't even know how much Kishimoto worked on them anyway. Was they're made by people who literally read his manga, so they have a different interpretation, which is literally not facts because the stuff literally contradicts things the creator said. But right, like we literally saw this. First of all, you know, right here, Pain, right? Obviously, the six paths of pain, bro, versus Itachi Uchiha, right? Both of them alive. Itachi easily has Amaterasu, which Amaterasu is like the worst MS ability because it's fire that doesn't stop a set. All the characters are ninjas, so they can basically dodge fire unless they're a part of the Akamichi clan. Like everybody has acrobatics in the series. You know, he does have, Tsukiyomi, and so you have to look at people to use Tsukiyomi, and Tsukiyomi's only good if you're not fighting a perfect Jinchuriki, which have a higher level against jutsu resistance, and you can just be fighting, somebody who can use genjutsu without MS, like Hashirama, and Hashirama can just like not look at you and use Bringer of Darkness. Tobirama has Bringer of Darkness too, so that's besides the point. Those are just examples, but Itachi's whole move set is literally, trying to, make you basically bait you. He shoots fireballs, baits you. If you use water style to counter fire, he uses water style, which he copied from Kisame. So his goal is to get you to come toward him because obviously, you want to get a lethal blow on him. And the second you come toward him, you look in his eyes, he puts you, you know, in a genjutsu, or he'll just try and make you dodge fire, not even get you like run toward him, but he'll use like Amaterasu and like fireball jutsu, which I mean, not really fireball jutsu, was Amaterasu's just a better version of it, but he'll use one or the other and shoot it at you, and he'll get you a dodge to a side. So basically, while you're dodging the fire, he runs toward you and puts you in the Tsukiyomi, right? You know, and the problem with that right here, read my post, is that pain controls the six paths of pain. And obviously, you know, each one of the six paths of pain, are in a course that's controlled by Nagato. Let me go to the post. But yeah, I need to get off this image and go to my actual post. Because I posted a GIF, but it probably got buried amongst some of the stuff I posted. Was you had yeah, I actually had GIFs up there as proof, but basically, let me go with someone else's their GIF of pain. Okay, where's that dude's pain GIF? Come on, bro. Where did they put the GIF? Right here. These are six bodies, all nicknamed Pain, controlled by Pain, whose Nagato basically was Pain is Nagato's nickname because I keep using Pain and Nagato interchangeably. So in case you're not a Naruto fan or you only watch Boruto, Pain and Nagato's the same guy. But there are six paths of pain. So the problem with that is that Itachi can't look into Six Dude's eyes at one time. Pause. Heavy pause. He can't do that. So, the whole Tsukiyomi thing's not gonna work. Right? But first of all, Nagato is the second in command of the Akatsuki, so Obito's the first in command of the leader. Obito literally fought with Itachi during the Uchiha massacre, so Obito knows Itachi's MS abilities, and Obito told them to Nagato. Nagato literally said, bro, like, he literally said that, like, he was glad Itachi was dead, right? Right, Itachi let Sasuke beat him. Right, what he meant by that, or draw with him, because, like, Itachi was gonna die anyway, so, if Itachi beat him, he may have just died after, you know, instead Itachi beat Sasuke, he would just die. But basically Nagato knows Itachi's abilities. First of all, Obito told him, like, Literally, Obito is Nagato's leader, and Nagato's his second in command. So he knows what MS abilities Itachi's finna use. Itachi's finna fireball spam, get Itachi, get Nagato to dodge Itachi's fireballs, and then as Itachi's dodging, as Nagato's dodging, he's gonna run toward or away from Itachi as Itachi's run toward him. Except, guess what? There's seven bodies. Itachi is gonna be staring into one of the weaker paths, like the second animal path, the female one, and on top of it, all of the fire in the area is gonna get dodged by Nagato, but not just that. Nagato can just send out the Preda path. The Preda path can absorb the Amaterasu and fireballs, right? And the only thing Itachi could do, Nagato will probably counter with the water style jutsu, was the Rinnegan gives you all five chakra natures, and Itachi can just counter that with the water style he copied from Kisame. But the Preda path can just absorb the Amaterasu and fireballs. Then Itachi will probably just run toward the path he think is the strongest. And then while he runs toward, you know, the diva path, Tendo Pain, which is the strongest, the human path will take Itachi's soul. So if it's alive, you know, like Nagato wins. Like if it's alive, because there's seven, but like Itachi's whole move set is based on one-on-one fights. On top of it, the Rinnegan abilities are just way better than MS and Sharingan abilities. Majority of them, right? Obviously, Kamui can give the mid to the mid to weaker Rinnegan abilities a run for their money. And when I say Rinnegan abilities, I'm not talking about Limbo or Amana Tenji Karabas. Those are unique to Sasuke and Madara. I'm talking about just the base Rinnegan, not any special exceptions. Because I'm not talking about Rinnegan user exclusive abilities. I'm talking about Rinnegan abilities that all the users have. But now I'm just gonna talk about Edo Itachi versus Edo Nagato, and the problem with that is with Edo Itachi, the thing is about that, right? This is gonna be hypothetical, right? Obviously, as we know, Nagato got jumped by three dudes at once. Pause. No homo, no diddy. Hey yo, right? The mirror can block all attacks. Okay, if the mirror can block, okay, Itachi can spam. His strategy is to spam Amaterasu. Since he's an Edo, he has no drawbacks for his MS abilities. Obviously, Amaterasu's a non-factor because Nagato can absorb. On top of it, when Naruto used the Preda path, he absorbed B and Naruto's chakra and their Jinchuriki, so they obviously are given a high amount of chakra because they share it with their Jinchuriki. On top of it, Naruto is a half Uzumaki and Uzumaki, so he was born with basically a bunch of chakra through Naruto's mother's Uzumaki side of the family. So Naruto, it doesn't matter if he's a Jinchuriki or not, because Naruto absorbed that chakra. When he died, he used a ghetto statue, so he was sick and old, but he became younger because his hair went from, whitish, grayish to like red in a matter of seconds. So Edo Nagato is Nagato at full power, right? And Edo Itachi can just use the mirror to deflect anything, and he can actually deflect. Before, he could barely deflect half the time alive because he was bleeding out from the overuse of his MS abilities. Susanoo is one of them. That's a universal MS ability, not exclusive to any user. All MS users have that. If they have both eyes, but Kakashi and Obito didn't until last minute. But that's besides the point. But basically, obviously, the Prada path can absorb the ninjutsu. That's what the Prada path can do. So let's say that Prada path absorbs Amaterasu, right? And fire style, right? And let's say Nagato uses water style, right? He uses water style, or he even uses the Asura Path's cannons. Yeah, the Yada Mirror can block that. Yeah, the Yada Mirror can block that, but the thing is, okay, let me see what this dude has to say. He's not getting past the Yada Mirror. And Shisui's Eye, okay, Shisui's Eye releases you out of the Edo Tensei. So what it basically does, it basically makes all Edos not controlled. But there's the weaker Edo Tensei which Orochimaru and Kabuto used. And then, well, Kabuto used a stronger Edo Tensei, but the Edos can break out of it. I said that kind of in reverse and a bit tongue twisted. But Orochimaru has the weaker Edo Tensei, but basically some Edo Tensei can break out of it. They can break out of the stronger Edo Tensei, but they can't break out of the weaker one. But Nagato, Itachi broke him out of the Edo Tensei's control. So like the Shisui's eye is a non-factor, But let's say you know, not just the crow and even being able to counter genjutsu with the eye. I'm not even gonna talk about that, but if we were to talk about it again, you know, him using the Yada mirror, I'll think about how Nagato can get past that. Honestly, the only way he could get past that is he used the animal path. Right? Nagato could just use the animal path. Really, that's what he could do. Matter of fact, I thought Nagato and Edo was gonna lose, and Nagato slash Pain and Alive was gonna win. But I believe Edo Nagato could win because plus he can use the animal path and make an animal run toward the Yada mirror, and the Yada the Susanoo can just use the Tosca blade to stab the animals, or he could just use the animal path to like just put a bunch of animals in front of Itachi Susanoo, and then he can run toward Itachi. And obviously Nagato knows about Tsukiyomi, right? He's literally Itachi's former leader before Itachi betrayed the Akatsuki. So, like Nagato's not gonna look into his eyes, and like with the whole like a Thimbro thing, honestly, you know, my like honest opinion, Naruto, struggled to break out of that genjutsu and he needed help and stuff. But would Nagato know about it? Honestly, I believe so. I believe Nagato would know because Nagato and Obito were working against Itachi. Obito would have told him. Obito would have easily just told Nagato. It's literally implied. The only reason, and some people say, Nagato said and Obito said they're glad Itachi was dead, but Itachi was a threat to their organization. First of all, what Nagato meant by that, I'm not going to even talk about Obito versus Itachi anyway, because Jubito would body Itachi, and even pre Renegon Obito, he would beat Itachi. Like no diff, no diff. But that's a debate for another day. But the reason why Obito and Nagato wanted Itachi dead is was they knew Itachi was a spy for the Leaf Deals. They knew Itachi and Jiraiya were working against the Akatsuki. And the problem with that is that, Itachi basically is his name literally translates to Weasel in Japanese, but the Akatsuki are basically a PMC. and a terrorist cell. So obviously they would not want the double agent within their organization to leak the info, because yeah, the Akatsuki is stronger. Their combined power is stronger than majority of ninja, but like not all of the whole like world jumped them, which is what happened at the end of Shippuden. They lost, like the Akatsuki lost because the whole world jumped their two strongest members, which is Madara, who is leader of the Akatsuki, and his body double Obito, and Madara and Obito like lost. The show's called Naruto. Naruto won. And you know they were 2 out of 4 of the final villains, and they lost. So obviously, Nagato knew about Ephemeral. He did. The only reason he said he wouldn't fight Itachi, isn't because, Ephemeral could have beat Nagato if he didn't know about it, but it's not because that, it's because Nagato was scared the whole world was gonna jump him and beat him. And Obito was scared of the same thing. And Obito and Nagato, ironically, their last fights in the series before they meet their end, they are getting jumped, or they're reverse jumping or jumping. But basically, Nagato, on top of it, let's say the ephemeral didn't work. Let's say the Predator Path absorbed the Amaterasus and fireballs. This is a hypothetical, made about a hypothetical, but let's say Itachi wasn't out of chakra, which obviously you can't run out of chakra if you're an Edo, and you can't die until the caster of the Edo Tensei releases the Edo, right? But let's say, right, Itachi still has chakra, but let's say, Itachi is not all the way defeated, but Itachi is infinite chakra and Edo. Same thing with Nagato. Let's say, the ephemeral fails and Nagato starts beating up Itachi, and Itachi just decides, oh, well, I'm finna, I can't use Genjutsu, because he knows all my Genjutsu. Now, then, let me use water style, right? Let's say he just didn't use water style. Let's say Nagato never used water style counter fire style. Let's say he just used the Predator Path. Let's say Nagato up to this point, when he beat Itachi, he never used water style to counter Itachi's fireballs, and Predator Path to counter Amaterasu. Just use Predator Path to counter Amaterasu and fireball, and Itachi just uses water style. And some people say, "Oh, well, even if Itachi used, even if right, Itachi did use water style before. Let's say Nagato used water style to beat Itachi's fireballs, and he used Prey to Pass to beat the Amaterasu, and Itachi countered the water style with the water style he learned from Kisame, right? Some people say Itachi has wind style, and he has lightning style, or whatever the data books. We're not talking about what it says in the data books, bro. We're not talking about the data books, bro. Because if a character has an ability and they don't use it, they're trash with it. Like with Minato in Sage Mode, right? Minato had Sage Mode and pulled up to with the war, but clearly he was trash at it, but he couldn't use Sage Mode in KCM like Naruto. Like even in the manga, Minato, sucked at Sage Mode. So I'm not gonna even count Sage Mode Minato. But no, right, no, Itachi cannot use elements besides fire and water. He cannot do that, because that if it's only stated in the guidebooks, I'm not counting it. And plus, Nagato's a Rinnegan user, so he has all 5 elements anyway. So using elemental jutsus or Kekkei Genkai by Kekkei Genkai, I don't mean awkward ones. Like Kekkei Genkai, such as Chakra Natures, like Wood and Ice Style, which are the most popular ones. And like Kekkei Totas, I'm not counting that, but I believe Pain slash Nagato completely destroys Itachi, and Edo Pain slash Nagato completely. Well, I'll put it like this. I think Edo Nagato beats Itachi mid diff. Mid diff. I think Edo Nagato beats Itachi. Obviously, for Edo Nagato to get stabbed by Susanoo, he didn't know about the Susanoo. But obviously, I talked about that. The animal path could just distract the Susanoo anyway. Right, and Itachi did have Shisui's eye because I did mention that, right, like the same way Itachi planted his eye in Sasuke after his death, and that I used Madarasu. Let's say you know, Nagato you know, basically Itachi got all his Amaterasu, Fireball sucked up by the Praetor Pad no Dealing. Let's say the animal pass distracted the Yada Mirror and the Tosca Blade. And he got to Itachi and, Shisui's eye, he used Kodo and Matsukami. Right? And he just put Nagato under a Genjutsu. Let's say Itachi did that, you know, and basically Kodo and Matsukami stops you from excuse me, it's a genjutsu that just mind controls you. Let's say he used Shisui's to do that. The problem with that is that Nagato's an Edo Tensei, so Itachi cannot kill him, and Nagato cannot kill Itachi. So Nagato would just work with Itachi. The fight would basically be a draw, Buzz. It's basically Nagato stronger and Itachi mind controls him. As an example, like Jake Paul lost to the Joshua dude, right? And Joshua is stronger. Let's say Joshua, is stronger, has better abilities in the ring, and he beat Jake Paul. If Jake Paul put him under a hypnosis, right, by using some weird drugs or like moving an object back and forth, and he just stops fighting and Jake Paul keeps punching him, first of all, bro is not gonna feel it because he's way more powerful. He's not gonna feel it, and by the time he feels it, Jake Paul's gonna run out of stamina. So that fight's a draw. And Naruto could even just use the ghetto statue to distract um the Susanoo Jada Mirror and Tosca Blade. Like people, I don't know if people forget, but bro can summon, all Renegon users can summon the ghetto statue to distract the Susanoo. Right? Specifically Itachi's like, like when he says, oh, when he uses the Yada mirror, he's completely invincible and bro can punch with the Tosca blade. The ghetto statue's way bigger than the Yada mirror's you know, and Tosca Blades Susanoo. It's way bigger than all of the Susanoos, but specifically all of those that aren't perfect. Obviously, Sasuke's, Madara's, Obito slash Kakashi's are perfect Susanoos. So I'm not talking about that, but even if the ghetto statue can even shoot a dragon to distract the user, the Susanoo. But I'll say mid diff because if Itachi has to use Kodo Matsukame, which and some people say Itachi his jutsu were known by Obito. Obito knows what Kodo Matsukame is, so he told Nagato. No, for all of the Pain slash Nagato fans, Itachi knew who Shisui was. Like he knew who Shisui was. Like obviously, like he knew who Itachi and Shisui were. Like he was associates like with them, but he knew what Kodo Matsukame was anyway. But first of all, like he's an Uchiha anyway, so there are other Uchiha who have Kodo Matsukame. For them to know the names of the abilities, like Shisui his granddaddy probably had the ability, and Tobirama probably knew what it was family members share abilities. Like, some people say the Uchiha are fat. No, no. What a ninja clan is, what a clan is, the word clan with a C, not a K, for any black viewers, including me watching. That just means family. But what ninja clans are in Naruto, they're races, bro. So like, no, all Uchiha clan members are not family. They're not family. They are not. So Obito and Itachi are not related at all. In what way besides both being Asian guys? That's only it. They're only related because they're both Asian. And they both are like of the same like Asian subgroup or whatever. But that's besides the point, because I know some people are gonna say, no, Obito did not know that Shisui's eye was inside of Itachi, was he did not know Itachi planted his eye inside Sasuke, so Itachi would not know that anyway. So, because I know some Pain fans are gonna gas up Pain slash Nagato, which obviously Pain slash Nagato, for this video's conclusion, goated character, way better character than Itachi, right? Like the appeal of Itachi was the fact he was a benchmark and he was an evil version of Sasuke, who is a good character, well, a morally great character when he became a Akatsuki member, during mid to late Shippuden. But Pain is just evil Naruto, so like Pain and Obito are literally both the same like character, except I'll say Obito is more like Naruto Uchiha. Pain is literally just Naruto but evil. Specifically like adult Hokage Naruto, he was evil. They're even from the same like clan or whatever. But yeah, I'll say that Nagato is probably like the best written Naruto villain. Like if you want to know my opinion on Nagato, because I'm never gonna make a Nagato video again. Purposely, that is, unless I'm on stream and somebody brings him up. Those are my opinions on Nagato, and I'm gonna end this video. Peace and have a good one.